Algebra 1, 2-2, solving one-step equations. Solving one-step equations. Solve. When we're talking about solving something, we're talking about find the value of the variable that makes the equation true. Find the value of the variable that makes the equation true. So, for example, c minus 22 equals 54. So I want to find out what c equals. So if I can kind of plug in random numbers into c and try to figure this out, or I can add 22 to both sides, and I get c equals 76. And so what we do to one side of the equal sign we must also do to the other. Side. All right, so let's do some examples. So if I have, let's do this. C minus 22 equals 54. And then we did the c minus 22 equals 54. All right, we did both. We did this already where we said this one we added 22 to both sides. What we do to one side, we do to the other. We end up with c equals 54 plus 22, which is 76. Now, we need to plug this 76 back in here. 76 minus 22, does that equal 54? Yes, it does. So I've checked my answer. It's important to check your answer. Now, sometimes you might, let's see, subtract 54 from both sides. What if you did that? Now, I want to get this c by itself, but for some reason, I just decided I'm going to subtract 54 from both sides. That's fine. C minus 76 equals 0, because 54 minus 54 is 0. Negative 22 minus 54 is going to get me negative 76. So c minus 76 equals 0. I just have to add 76 to both sides again. c equals 76. Let's do another example. 113 equals g minus 25. And oh no, we'll do some u tries in a second. So I want g to be by itself. So I'm going to add 25 to both sides because this 25 is negative or being subtracted there. So I add it to make that 0. And so now 113 plus 25 is 138, which equals g. g equals 138. Now I want to plug that back in here, 138 minus 25, and make sure that that's actually 13. And that'll be my check. Now, let's see if you guys can do one on your own. J minus 87 equals negative 3. So, go ahead and try this one out, and pause, and then we'll come back and talk about it. Pause now. All right, let's see how you did. I'm going to add 87 to each side. because I'm subtracting 87, so now I'm going to add it. I need what I do to one side, I do to the other side of the equal sign. J equals -3 plus 87 is going to get me 84. If I plug 84 back in here, I say 84 minus 87 equals -3. I'm going to give you 3 more to do on your own. 63 plus m equals 79. 27 plus k equals 30. And -12 equals p plus 16. All right, pause and do all those, and we'll check it out together in a second. All right, for this one, I want m by itself. Subtract 63 from both sides. M equals 79 minus 63, which is going to give me, let's see, 16. Put 16 back in here, make sure 16 plus 63 is 79, and it is. Subtract 27 from both sides of this one because I want k to be by itself. And so k is now 30 minus 27, which is 3. 27 plus 3 is 30. That's true. For this one, I'm not going to add 12 to both sides because I want p to be by itself. So I'm going to subtract 16 from both sides. -12 minus 16 is -28. And so if I add 16 and -28 together, then I get -12. I've checked it. We're good. All right, let's look at what is a reciprocal. Reciprocal. So the reciprocal of 5 is 1/5. Reciprocal of 2/3 is 3/2. The reciprocal of 1/4 is 4/1, which is 4. So you can see a reciprocal is the fraction or the number flipped. The numerator goes to the denominator and the denominator goes to the numerator. That's what a reciprocal is. When you multiply 5/1, that's what 5 is, times 1/5, you get 5/5, which equals 1. If I multiply 2/3 times 3/2, I get 2 times 3 is 6, 2 times 3 is 6, I get 1. If I multiply 1/4 times 4/1, I get 4/4, which is 1. So notice my reciprocal, if I multiply a fraction and its reciprocal, if I multiply them together, I get 1. So we need to use that in this next bit here. So if I have 2/3 x equals 1/2. I want x to be by itself. I have 2/3 x right now. I want 1x. And so what I need to do is I need to multiply this by the reciprocal of 2/3. And what I do to one side, I must also do to the other side. 3/2. So 3 times 2 is 6. 2 times 3 is 6. 6/6 is 1. So I have 1x equals 1 times 3, which is 3, over 2 times 2, which is 4. X equals 3/4. And if I put this 3/4 back in here for x to check it, then that's 2 times 3 is 6, 3 times 4 is 12, 6/12 is 1/2, so I've checked my answer, that looks good. Now let's have you try one. I've got 3/5 times k equals 6. So I want to use my reciprocal. I want 1k, not 3/5 k. Okay, pause and get to work. All right, let's see how you did. I'm going to multiply this side by 5/3, and what I do to one side, I do to the other. I got to multiply this side by 5/3 as well. And it might be helpful, since this is a whole number 6, to put it over 1, and then it's a little bit easier to see what I'm multiplying here. 5 times 3 is 15, 3 times 5 is 15, 15 divided by 15 is 1, so I've got 1k equals 6 times 5 is 30. 1 times 3 is 3. 30 divided by 3 is 10, so k equals 10. And if I plug this back in here for k, 3 times 10 is 30. 30 divided by 5 is 6. So I've checked my work, and it looks good. Let's do a couple more. Let's do 2 or 3 more. Here's another example. I've got 39 equals negative 3r. And let's have a couple more here. 24 equals 6x. And negative 1/4 equals 2/3 b. All right. So let's do this first one here together, and then maybe we'll do these as a you try. So for this one, I've got negative 3r. I want this r to be by itself. I want it to be positive 1r. So I need to divide this by negative 3. So it'll be positive 1r. Or I multiply it by negative 1/3. So either way, however you want to think about it, is fine. I'm going to divide by negative 3. And what I do to one side, I do to the other side. So negative 3 divided by negative 3 is positive 1. So I've got positive 1r. And then 39 divided by negative 3 is negative 13. And if I plug that in here, negative 3 times negative 13 is going to give me positive 39. So I checked out, I'm good. Now I want you guys to do these two as you tries, and then we'll work them out together after you've paused and got to work. So go ahead and pause and get to work. All right, let's see how you did. For this one, I want 1x. I've got 6 x's, so I need to divide this by 6, both sides. What I do to one side, I do to the other. 24 divided by 6 is 4. 6 divided by 6 is 1. 1x, 4 equals x. For this guy, I do not want to do anything with this negative 1/4 yet. I need to multiply this fraction here by the reciprocal so that I just have 1b. So my reciprocal of 2/3 is 3/2. 3/2. So 3 times 2 is 6. 2 times 3 is 6. I've got 1b. So there's b all by itself. And then I've got to multiply across here. 3 times 1 is 3. 2 times 4 is 8. And don't forget my negative. There it is. b equals negative 3/8. If I plug that back in here, 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 8 is 24. And if I reduce that down, it's 1/4. And it's negative, so negative 1/4. And that is 2-2, solving one-step equations. Good luck on the homework.